Quick question before we get started. When is the last time your eyes felt genuinely comfortable? Not just tolerable. Not just manageable with eye drops every few hours. Actually comfortable, moist, clear, easy, not something you had to think about at all? If you're struggling to remember, this video is for you. Because here's something that most eye doctors don't spend nearly enough time talking about. Dry eyes after 60 are not inevitable. They are not simply what aging looks like. And they are absolutely not a condition you just have to manage with artificial tears for the rest of your life. The real cause of chronic dry eyes in older adults, in the majority of cases, is not age itself. It is what your body is or isn't getting nutritionally. Your tear glands are living tissue. They require specific nutrients to function properly. They are directly affected by inflammation levels in your body. They are connected to your gut health, your hydration status, the quality of the fats in your diet, and the antioxidant protection available to the cells that produce your tears. When those nutritional needs are not being met, your tear production suffers. The quality of the tears your eyes produce deteriorates. The tear film becomes unstable and evaporates too quickly. And you end up with that constant, gritty, burning, tired, irritated feeling that millions of seniors have simply accepted as their new normal. But here's the thing, when you give your body what it actually needs, the difference can be remarkable. And genuinely fast. We're not talking about a 6-month experiment. People who make the changes we're covering today often notice real differences within weeks. We're going through 6 specific foods and food categories that have been shown to directly improve dry eye symptoms from the inside out, improving tear quality, reducing the inflammation that damages tear glands, restoring moisture to the eye surface, and protecting your vision long-term. And stay with me all the way to the end because the last one is the one that surprises people most. Most seniors have never connected it to their eye health at all, and it might be the missing piece that explains why nothing else has fully worked. Let's go. Food category number 1, and if there is one single nutritional change that eye health researchers point to more consistently than anything else when it comes to dry eyes, it is this one. Omega-3 fatty acids. Your tear film, the thin protective layer of moisture that covers your eye surface with every blink, is not just water. It has 3 distinct layers. An inner mucus layer. A middle watery layer. And a critical outer oil layer that sits on top and prevents the water underneath from evaporating too quickly. That outer oil layer is produced by tiny glands along your eyelids called meibomian glands. And the quality of the oil those glands produce is directly determined by the type of fats circulating in your body. When your diet is rich in omega-3 fatty acids, those glands produce a smooth, fluid, high-quality oil that spreads evenly and holds moisture in effectively. When omega-3 levels are low, which is extremely common in the American diet, particularly among older adults, those glands produce a thicker, lower-quality oil that doesn't spread properly and allows tears to evaporate rapidly. The result of that evaporation is the exact experience most people with dry eyes know intimately. Eyes that feel fine for a few minutes after using eye drops and then dry out again quickly. A gritty sandpaper feeling, especially toward the end of the day. Eyes that water excessively, which is actually your body's emergency response to dryness, flooding the eye with tears because the baseline moisture isn't being maintained. Sensitivity to wind, air conditioning, screens, and bright light. Multiple clinical studies have shown that increasing omega-3 intake produces meaningful improvement in dry eye symptoms, not by masking the problem the way eye drops do, but by actually improving the function of the glands responsible for producing your tear film. The best dietary sources of omega-3s for seniors are fatty fish, salmon, sardines, mackerel, and tuna are all excellent. 2 to 3 servings per week make a genuine difference. If fish isn't your thing, ground flaxseed stirred into oatmeal or yogurt is a solid plant-based option. Chia seeds work the same way. Walnuts, which we covered in our nuts video, are another strong source. And for people who aren't getting consistent dietary omega-3s, a high-quality fish oil supplement is one of the most well-researched supplements available for dry eye specifically. This is your foundation. Everything else we cover today builds on it. Food category number 2, and this one targets a deficiency that is far more common in seniors than most people realize, and that has a direct, documented impact on tear production. Vitamin A-rich foods. Your tear film has 3 layers, and while omega-3 support the outer oil layer, vitamin A is the primary nutrient responsible for the inner mucus layer. That mucus layer is what allows the watery middle layer to spread evenly and stick to the eye surface rather than rolling off immediately. Without adequate vitamin A, that mucus layer degrades. Tears become unstable. The eye surface dries out faster. And the cornea, the clear front surface of your eye, becomes more vulnerable to irritation and damage. Vitamin A deficiency in older adults is more common than it sounds because absorption efficiency decreases with age, and because many seniors have reduced dietary variety. The symptoms come on gradually, slowly worsening dryness, increasing light sensitivity, eyes that take longer to adjust when moving from bright to dim environments, and in more advanced cases, difficulty seeing clearly at night. The most efficient dietary sources of vitamin A come in 2 forms. Preformed vitamin A, found directly in animal products like eggs and dairy, is immediately usable by your body without any conversion. And provitamin A, found in orange and yellow vegetables as beta-carotene, gets converted to vitamin A by your body as needed. Carrots are the classic source and genuinely effective. Sweet potatoes are arguably even better. A single medium sweet potato provides more than a full day's worth of beta-carotene. Butternut squash, pumpkin, and cantaloupe are all strong options. On the leafy green side, spinach and kale contain surprisingly high levels of beta-carotene despite their color. And eggs, consumed regularly, provide directly usable vitamin A along with the lutein and zeaxanthin we'll cover shortly. The beauty of addressing vitamin A through food rather than supplements is that you get it packaged alongside fiber, other vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that work together synergistically in ways that isolated supplements can't fully replicate. Food category number 3, and this one is the simplest, the most overlooked, and sometimes the one that makes the fastest visible difference. Hydrating foods with high water content. Here is something that most conversations about dry eyes completely skip over. Your tear glands are glands. They are biological tissue that requires adequate hydration to function. When your body is even mildly dehydrated, not severely, not alarmingly, just mildly, tear production volume drops. The watery middle layer of your tear film thins out. And your eyes pay the price before almost any other organ in your body because the tear film is so thin and so exposed that even small changes in systemic hydration show up immediately as dryness, grittiness, and fatigue. And here's the specific challenge for seniors. The thirst mechanism, your body's natural signal that you need water, weakens significantly with age. Studies have consistently shown that older adults become dehydrated more easily and feel it less strongly than younger people. Which means by the time a senior feels thirsty, they're often already meaningfully dehydrated. And many seniors go through entire days in a mild chronic state of dehydration without ever registering strong thirst. Think about a man named Richard. 81 years old, never been a big water drinker, assumed that if he wasn't thirsty, he was fine. Woke up every morning with eyes that felt gritty and took a long time to clear. Noticed his vision was blurry for the first 30 minutes after waking every day. Attributed it entirely to age. His doctor suggested increasing water intake specifically through high water content foods rather than just telling him to drink more, because the food approach provides hydration more slowly and steadily, with electrolytes that help retain it. Richard started eating cucumber slices daily, adding watermelon as an afternoon snack, including celery in his meals, and starting each morning with a bowl of broth-based soup a few times a week. Within 3 weeks, the morning grittiness had largely resolved. The slow-clearing blurry vision improved dramatically. He told his doctor he felt like he'd been walking around partially dried out for years without knowing it. Your best high-water foods for eye hydration are cucumbers at over 96% water content, watermelon, celery, strawberries, oranges, bell peppers, and zucchini. Broth-based soups count significantly. Plain yogurt contributes meaningful hydration alongside its other benefits. And if drinking plain water feels like a chore, herbal tea counts completely. Flavor your water with cucumber slices or fresh mint to make the habit easier to maintain. Hydration is not glamorous. It doesn't come in a bottle with dramatic claims on the label. But for dry eyes, it is sometimes the single most impactful change a senior can make. Food category number 4, and this one targets the cellular damage that accumulates in your tear glands over decades and is a primary reason dry eyes worsen progressively with age. Antioxidant-rich foods, specifically those high in lutein and zeaxanthin. Your eyes are under oxidative stress every single day. Every hour of light exposure, natural and artificial, generates free radicals in the tissues of your eyes. These unstable molecules damage cells over time. In the tear gland specifically, that accumulated oxidative damage leads to reduced tear production capacity, increased inflammation, and tear glands that function progressively less efficiently the older you get. Lutein and zeaxanthin are two carotenoid antioxidants that are uniquely concentrated in the eye, particularly in the macula and in the tear-producing tissues, where they function as both a protective filter against damaging light and a direct neutralizer of the free radicals that cause oxidative damage. Unlike most antioxidants that distribute throughout the body generally, lutein and zeaxanthin are selectively deposited in ocular tissue. Your eyes actively pull them from your bloodstream and concentrate them where they're needed most. Which makes dietary intake of these specific antioxidants unusually directly beneficial for eye health compared to most nutritional interventions. Think about a woman named Eleanor. 76 years old, loved reading, started noticing that after just a few pages her eyes felt fatigued, dry, and irritated. She'd been a reader her whole life. This was genuinely distressing. She assumed it was an unavoidable part of aging and started keeping reading sessions very short to manage the discomfort. A nutritionist suggested she focus on lutein and zeaxanthin-rich foods, specifically adding eggs to her breakfast daily and increasing her leafy green intake. Within a few weeks, Eleanor noticed she could read for longer periods before the fatigue and dryness set in. Eventually, her comfortable reading window expanded significantly. The change wasn't in her glasses prescription. It was in the health of the tissue producing and maintaining her tear film. Eggs are your most bioavailable source of lutein and zeaxanthin. The fat in the yolk actually dramatically improves absorption compared to plant sources. 2 eggs daily is an evidence-backed approach for improving macular lutein levels. Dark leafy greens, kale, especially, followed by spinach and collard greens, are your highest volume plant sources. Yellow and orange bell peppers, corn, and winter squash provide meaningful amounts as well. And as a bonus, pistachios contain lutein and zeaxanthin along with their other eye-healthy nutrients. Food category number 5, and this one addresses a mechanism of tear gland damage that is less well known but just as important as oxidative stress. Nuts and seeds for vitamin E. Vitamin E is a fat-soluble antioxidant, meaning it dissolves in fat and is stored and utilized in the fatty membranes of your cells. Your tear glands, like all glands in your body, have cell membranes rich in fats. And those fat-rich membranes are particularly vulnerable to a type of oxidative damage called lipid peroxidation, where free radicals attack and break down the fatty structures of the cell membrane, progressively impairing the cell's ability to function. Vitamin E is one of the primary nutrients that interrupts the lipid peroxidation process. It inserts itself into cell membranes and neutralizes the free radicals before they can cause structural damage. In the context of tear glands specifically, adequate vitamin E levels help maintain the structural integrity of the gland cells so they can continue producing tears effectively as you age. Studies examining populations with dry eye syndrome have found lower vitamin E levels in people with chronic dry eyes compared to people without the condition. And supplementing vitamin E, or significantly increasing dietary intake, has been associated with improvement in tear quality and reduction in dry eye symptoms, particularly in older adults. Think about a man named Henry. 79 years old. Burning, irritated eyes every single evening without fail. Had tried prescription eye drops, over-the-counter drops, a humidifier in the bedroom, and reduced screen time. Nothing gave him lasting relief. A friend who happened to be a retired pharmacist suggested he look at his vitamin E intake. Henry started eating a small handful of almonds every morning and adding sunflower seeds to his afternoon salad. Nothing else changed. Within 3 weeks, the evening burning was noticeably less intense. Within 6 weeks, it had largely resolved. He hadn't needed his artificial tears in over a month. What had changed was the health of the cells in his tear glands. They were being protected from the oxidative damage that had been progressively impairing their function. Your best sources are almonds, the highest vitamin E food available by weight. Sunflower seeds are equally impressive. Hazelnuts, peanuts, and pine nuts are strong secondary sources. And if you want vitamin E alongside other healthy fats, avocado and extra virgin olive oil both provide meaningful amounts in a form your body absorbs well with meals. A small handful of mixed nuts and seeds daily, something genuinely enjoyable to eat, can provide the vitamin E your tear glands need to stay healthy and functional. Food category number 6, and this is the one that surprises people most, because it seems completely unrelated to your eyes. Probiotic and gut-healthy foods. Your gut and your eyes are connected through your immune system. And the connection is more direct and more powerful than most people would ever expect. Here's the mechanism. Your gut lining houses approximately 70 to 80% of your entire immune system. The state of your gut microbiome, the community of bacteria living in your digestive tract, directly regulates how your immune system responds to everything in your body. When your gut microbiome is healthy and balanced, your immune system tends to be well regulated, responding appropriately to genuine threats and staying calm in the absence of them. When your gut microbiome is disrupted, through poor diet, antibiotic use, aging-related changes, or chronic stress, your immune system becomes dysregulated. It produces elevated levels of inflammatory compounds that circulate throughout your entire body. Those inflammatory compounds reach your tear glands. And when tear glands are in a state of chronic inflammation, which is exactly what happens when they're bathed in immune-generated inflammatory compounds day after day, their function deteriorates. They produce fewer tears. The tears they do produce are of lower quality. And dry eye symptoms worsen and become increasingly resistant to treatment. Multiple research studies published in peer-reviewed ophthalmology journals have found a direct statistical association between gut microbiome health and dry eye severity. People with healthier, more diverse gut microbiomes consistently show lower levels of ocular surface inflammation and better tear production. Think about a woman named Judith. 80 years old. Dry, irritated eyes for years. Also dealt with frequent bloating, inconsistent digestion, and what she described as a generally unsettled stomach much of the time. Treated the two problems completely separately, eye drops for her eyes, occasional antacids for her digestion. Neither worked particularly well. Her doctor eventually connected the dots and suggested her gut inflammation might be contributing to her eye inflammation. Judith started adding plain Greek yogurt to her daily breakfast, incorporated kimchi as a small side dish a few times a week, and increased her fiber intake through oats and leafy greens to feed the beneficial bacteria. Over the following month, her digestion improved significantly. And then, unexpectedly to Judith, though not to her doctor, her eyes started feeling better too. Less irritated in the mornings. Less sensitive during the day. Less dependent on eye drops to get through the afternoon. She told her doctor she felt like she'd been treating a symptom for years when the actual cause was somewhere completely different. Your best probiotic food sources are plain Greek yogurt, chosen for its high probiotic content and protein, kefir, kimchi, sauerkraut, miso, and traditional pickles fermented in brine rather than vinegar. For the fiber that feeds and sustains healthy gut bacteria, oats, beans, lentils, and leafy greens are your foundation. Even a single daily serving of yogurt alongside a diet reasonably rich in fiber can meaningfully shift your gut microbiome in a direction that reduces systemic inflammation, and gives your tear glands a fighting chance to function the way they're supposed to. And here is where I want to bring this all together for you, because there is a bigger picture here that matters. Every single food category we covered today works through a different mechanism. Omega-3s improve the quality of your tear film oil layer. Vitamin A maintains the mucus layer that keeps tears stable. Hydrating foods restore the water volume your tear glands need to produce adequate tears. Lutein and zeaxanthin protect your ocular tissue from the light-induced oxidative damage that accumulates over decades. Vitamin E protects your tear gland cells from the lipid peroxidation that progressively impairs their function. And probiotics address the gut-driven inflammation that silently compromises tear gland health from the inside out. 6 different mechanisms. 6 different types of foods. All of them working together toward the same outcome: eyes that stay genuinely hydrated, comfortable, and clear without your entire day revolving around eye drops. You do not need to overhaul your diet completely overnight. Start with 1 or 2 categories. Add fatty fish twice this week. Put a handful of almonds on your counter as a daily snack. Start your morning with plain Greek yogurt. Eat a cucumber with lunch. Let those habits build. Because your eyes are not worn out. They are not beyond help. They are responding every single day to what you're giving them. And when you start giving them what they actually need, the response is often faster and more meaningful than most people expect. Drop a comment below and tell me, which of these 6 are you already eating, and which one are you going to add first? I genuinely read every comment, and your answer might help somebody else figure out where to start. Share this with someone you know who is struggling with dry eyes, because most people dealing with this have no idea that food is even part of the conversation. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and ring the bell so you never miss content built specifically to help you see better, feel better, and live better after 60. Take care of those eyes. They've been looking out for you your whole life. Time to return the favor. See you at the next one.